So today I'm going to make another one of Mom Leone's restaurant, one of their dishes. This is the most complicated lasagna I've ever made, but it is amazing. We're gonna make Mama Leone style back in the day holiday lasagna. We have a couple of different sauces we're going to make. That's why we're getting the ball rolling at the top of the show. The first one is a raw sauce made with this product. It's called passata. You're going to add good fruity, fatty olive oil with a nice olivey taste to it, and a little torn sweet basil and a pinch of salt. Done. The next sauce we're going to make is a basic marinara. So carrot, celery, onion in olive oil is how the basic marinara starts. Then we're going to add in some garlic and some thyme, a little salt and pepper and white pepper, a little crushed red pepper, and then a little oregano or marjoram. You're going to add some tomato paste, a good shot of wine, white or red, a little pinch of sugar or a sprinkle of honey, and some crushed tomato. And we're gonna stretch it with a little more of that tomato puree or passata. Then we're going to take half of the marinara and add it to this beef. So we'll end up with meat sauce and a vegetable marinara. Here, we've browned some lean ground beef. Then we're going to mix in a little garlic, some nice grassy parsley, a little fennel seed, and crushed red pepper. Let me walk you through where we're at right now. Already, we had a raw sauce that was just tomato, basil, and passata. That went on the bottom of our pan. That's our little barrier to the bottom where we put our no-boil lasagna noodles. We then took half of this sauce and added it to our browned ground beef. The ground beef has a little fennel and chili in it, okay? To this is very old school Italian. You add a little breadcrumb, toasted stale bread with a little parsley, and this gives the lasagna stability. We have sweet Italian sausage because we made the meat kind of spicy. We need a layer of ricotta cheese in this guy. We're going to add a couple of eggs to give this layer some legs. This is going to be very stable when you cut through this lasagna. And we mix the egg in through the fresh ricotta. We're going to add a box of chopped frozen spinach that we've defrosted and gotten all the liquid out of. And now we've got our ricotta layer done. A little bit of nutmeg. I'm working on the white sauce down here. This is the same sauce you make when you're making macaroni and cheese. It's like a bechamel. You start with equal amounts of butter, melt the butter, add the flour. Whisk that together, let it bubble. For this sauce, we add a little bit of white wine, about a half a cup of white wine, and then you add your whole milk, and it thickens up just like this. Your very basic white sauce. And then we're going to turn this into a cheese sauce by sprinkling in some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano. So then we do a layer of half of the meat, the layer of pasta. Then you take all of the ricotta with the egg and the spinach, all of it. I know, this thing's insane. Then you take your cheesy white sauce. And I think we need to take a break there. That's like halfway. Let's take a break, come back, we'll build the rest. You know, picturing Mama Leone's kitchen in my head from back in the day, it must have looked like Santa's workshop because you need a whole lot of elves to make this lasagna. So we're up to the next layer, and that's our sliced Italian sweet sausage. The rest of that marinara sauce, the plain vegetable base, not vegetable anymore because it's going with sausage. Another layer of pasta, the last of your meat, another layer of pasta, and then the last of your plain tomato, the raw tomato. So you take your thinly sliced mozz, and then sprinkle a little more parm, and it's ready to go in the oven! I'll show you what it looks like when we come back. This is Mama Leone's style to the best I could research on the internet. This is the authentic, back in the day, Mama Leone's deep dish with everything in it, lasagna. Over here we have one that's rested for about 20 minutes. Believe me, it'll still be molten lava hot in the center. I find that a two spatula method is actually most intelligent.